This is the Carty Method Podcast.
I'm so excited about today. If you've ever looked at someone's photographs and thought, this image just hits different, this podcast is going to show you the exact reason why. You see, most photographers think that storytelling means adding captions or things like that throughout your photography and maybe making a dramatic scene. Like as if cinematography is going to tell a story. I mean, cinematography is a type of shooting, but what we're trying to do is have your photographs mean something. And here's the actual truth. Storytelling has nothing to do with filters, fancy edits, or even subject matter for that match. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with any of those things. So, what about connection? Okay, what about connection? Because that's what we're trying to do. And some of you, like, most of you might think that the connection that we get from our subject matter is what tells the story. But I've been a professional photographer for 3.5 decades. And I got to tell you, through shooting Nike, through shooting magazines, through shooting my own personal work, I've come up with actually 5 different simple ways that you can tell stories with your photographs. And I promise you, this isn't complicated. So anybody who's trying to tell you about storytelling with your photography and trying to make you think that it's about complicated techniques, complicated light, complicated gear, it's not true. I'm going to give you repeatable approaches so you can shoot the same way magazine photographers shoot. You can shoot the same way that I shoot just by repeating these 5 different ways to storytell in photographs. So here's the plan. This is super important, and it's a super important idea, and it's a super important podcast that I have to break down. There's 5 easy ways to tell stories with your photographs, and you're going to be able to do each one of them after today's episode. And I got to tell you, you're also going to be able to figure out which one of these 5 ways of telling stories resonates the most with you. So you can be like, that's me. That's the way that I'm going to tell stories. So every single time that you do a photo shoot, you can pick one of these 5 different angles and you can hit storytelling as well as great photography in every one of them. We're going to do a tight episode today. We're not doing 2.5 hours. We're trying to do 40-ish minutes. And I'm telling you, my photography business was struggling despite decades of experience. And I realized that busy work and inconsistency were actually holding me back. During COVID, I finally stopped distracting myself and started focusing on the business side of my photography, which was failing. So many photographers like, you're amazing at photography, but you're shitty at business. And that was me. So I hired coaches. I re-engaged coaches that had helped me build my brand book from like 11, 12 years ago, started studying successful photographers and building systems that actually worked. Today, through the Carty Method, I help photographers worldwide turn their passion for photography into sustainable, profitable, ethical careers. Ethical. By teaching them the exact systems, methods, and strategies that I use to transform my own business. Okay? Today, we are talking about storytelling and how to use storytelling to transform your photography and your video making into something that people are interested in. People that like they see it and they have a memory of your photographs, and they stick, and people are like, whoa, that shooter, oh my God. And they're sharing your stuff because of the way that you tell stories. This isn't about fancy gear. This isn't about overthinking. This is about 5 ways that you can tell stories within pictures that you can repeat every single time. Are you with it? Are you down with me? By the way, I'm obsessed about helping you become a professional photographer. All you need to do is hit the join button. All of this stuff should be behind a paywall, but it's not. I give this stuff away free to those who choose to watch. Super, super, super simple. You ready for number 1? Number 1 is telling a story through a person, okay? Through a person. When you photograph someone, anybody who you're photographing, focus on who they are, not just what they look like. Focus on who they are, okay? Use their body language, use their clothing, and use the environment to say something that goes behind what we're actually seeing firsthand, okay? So try this today, okay? And I'm going to give you an example. Photograph someone doing what they love. Maybe they're painting. Maybe they're a barber cutting hair. Or maybe they're a friend deep in thought. Make the photograph, make the subject, make the everything feel like them. Okay? This is why this works. Like when you photograph, you're connecting with people. It's the most natural way of storytelling is photographing someone while they're doing something or saying something or vibing something. Now, I'm going to show you our first one right now, which is telling a story through a person. And if you watched last week's episode, you saw examples of me telling a story. Now, I'm shooting a fashion editorial here for the brand known as Legend Knits. And I've selected my favorite photos from this. And I want you to see me telling a story through a person. But the person is also telling a story and telling the story of the brand. So, telling a story, I'm showing hat, shirt, but I'm also showing shoes, details in the clothing, details in the customization, different perspectives, and different ideas from every look. So essentially, I'm telling a story through this person, but this person is telling a deeper story from the clothing that they're wearing. And the back of this shirt describes the word noble, because being noble, every noble work is bound to face problems and obstacles. If you're doing good things, there's going to be problems. There's going to be obstacles. Check your goal and your motivation. Be very truthful, honest, and responsible. That is a noble act. And that's what I'm trying to do here. So you can see that this whole story is about, number one, I'm shooting for the clothing brand, but I'm also connecting you with her, with this person. And she's doing noble acts. And it makes you feel connected because I'm telling a story. It's not one photograph in one place. It's multiple photographs in multiple places with multiple outfits, showing you the front and the back of this outfit. And now it says connected reggae party, and how it says legendary, and how she's connecting with the sky. And I'm telling a story through this person. And you see the designer, Nigel. Well, legend is Nigel backwards. Nigel. Legin, legend and legendary. So this is essentially me using a person to tell a story, but the story is not even about the person. The story is about Legend Knits, actually. But I'm using a vehicle to tell his story. And Rian is that vehicle because he's also making custom hats, which he crochets, and all of the crochet details on the hoodie and on the, like, there's all of these hits, these extra uplifted and legendary and connected, like all of these positive things that she's wearing. So I'm telling the story through the person. Okay? We continue. Another look. And still telling the story of Legend Knits through this person. So we can do this. We can tell stories. We can tell fashion stories, because now we're on to like a different look and a different customizations and different details that I want you to pay attention to. But look at how I'm photographing it, and photographing her as the Virgin Mary with Nigel's custom beanie, and shooting a few different angles here and thinking I have it, but then I change an angle and I get this, and I'm like, oh my word. Look at this angle when I'm using backlighting, sort of, and a little bit of Rembrandt, sort of. So telling a story using a person, but not necessarily showing the person who I'm actually promoting, which is Nigel and Legend Knits. So this is the first example, the way that you can go through and shoot double page spreads. And again, look at the discipline to my double page spread. I do this in camera just with my eyes, and how important it is to know how to shoot 2 pages in a magazine. All of these images are shot with real intention, shot as magazine covers, but I am using a person, because I'm a portrait photographer, to tell the story of Nigel and Legend Knits. And look at these hits. Like, the hits just keep on coming. The hits on the shoes, the hits on these leg warmers. Like, this is how we promote a brand and also promote a person. So this is the first one, which is telling a story through a person. And there's Nigel, and Nigel's holding both phones. He's holding Carty's phone, who has Carty's sticker, and he's holding Nigel's phone, which has Nigel's sticker on there. That's number one, telling a story through a person. Let me know if that grabbed you and if you want more. If you want more, keep hanging out. If this isn't grabbing you, I understand. I'm not for everybody, but I do try. I do surely try for you to really understand the different ways that you can break people's brain with photography. Okay. And again, I'll remind you, people connect with people. Okay. So me showing you people images, this connects you with this person and makes you feel like you know her. And also it makes you like the brand, because I shoot in a way that's unpretentious. It's not egoful. It's light and airy and fun, which is really important when you're trying to make a person look light and airy and fun. It's important. And it's important also, as I've said before, to shoot through the picture. So this is how you use a person to tell a story. That was number one. Okay? More? This is number two. You can tell a story through a place. Through a place. A place can talk even when there's no one in it. A place can speak to you. okay? The light, the details, the textures. There are many like subjects, there's many things that you can grab from a place without ever touching a subject that speaks. And why this, I want you to try this today. Make a picture of a space that tells a story. An empty gym, like a messy artist lab, a messy artist studio, a quiet street scene. You can make a photograph like of a place that really speaks. This is why it works, okay? The viewer imagines who was there when the photograph was taken. The subject, the viewer imagines themselves in that place. And when you shoot photographs of places, it evokes curiosity and it builds emotion. So let me show you examples of using places, a place, to tell a story. Are you down? Are you with me still? I hope you're with me still, by the way, because again, I try my best to hook you, hold your attention, and teach you in a way that nobody is teaching on YouTube. So this is how I use a place to tell a story. This is Cape Town, South Africa. And this is Table Mountain. And watch how I give you a story without you ever being there. And look at the way that I photograph this place and make you feel like you're there. And these are your photographs. Watch how it feels like that. Watch how you feel like you're there, because I'm telling a story through a place. Watch. This is how I tell a story through a place. Fiance. I show her photographing, and then I show what she's photographing. I show you Table Mountain, and then I give you context of Table Mountain in the city. Look at the architecture, but yet look at the cars. How the architecture is old, but the cars seem new-ish, but they're not the cars that we have in North America. Look at the hills. Look at the palm trees. Look at the up, down. Look at the sky. Like, I'm telling a story. Look at this location and how every building, this particular area of Cape Town, how every building is its own color, and the saturation, these men hanging. Look at the way I include people in my photographs of places. Look at the trees that are going up this, and of course the blue sky and the clouds. Look at how I tell a story of a place, how I bring you up the street and then I show you details. This is how you tell the story of a place. And of course, fiance shooting. Like, she's a crazy photographer with her iPhone. Like, crazy. We both have iPhone 15s and we both go ham. I shot this with my Pro Gear. By the way, I shot this all R5. So this is all Canon R5 at 45 megapixels. So look at how this feels. Look at this corner and this saturation and no graffiti. For those who are in North America, I want you to hear this. No graffiti, no tags on these walls. And these people repaint these walls every year. Look at this scene. Look at the chaos of the street, but yet the order of this and then the order of the mountain in the background. Like, this is preposterous. Queen. Because I'm a portrait photographer first. And I'm always going to stop for light, and I'm always going to stop for contrast in color and her blonde hair and glasses and her outfit up against this background, always. But also I'm going to shoot what people who live there look like in their regular moments. And I'm going to shoot a side angle, but then I'm going to get really bold and I'm going to go around front. Look at this guy up on the roof, like patching. And what that looks like in his hat, and these hard lines from hydro wires, and art de coupe gallery. And this, which is essentially a piece of art, an illustration, like it's actually found objects put together on the wall to look like this whole area that we're looking at. This is a photograph of what that piece of art, looked like on the wall. And oh my gracious, tell me that's not banana pudding. This is me telling a story through a place that I've never been before. Look at this contrast of the purple versus the yellow. Look at the planters and the plants, the lights. This is me telling the story, and also the security gates and the locked off, like everything is locked off. These three gentlemen talking, and what this looks like as a double page spread, what this looks like as 2 pages in a magazine, and where you would put copy. This is how I tell the story of a place. And I hope this is bringing you value. And if this is bringing you value, please consider hitting the like button. Like, hit the like button. Please consider sharing it to your people or making clips. Like, all of this helps more than you can possibly imagine. Israel, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you. This helps more than you can possibly imagine. And if you're into this, please talk about it.
Are you making pictures that you're proud of, but you're still not getting hired? You're not alone. And that's exactly what Portfolio Lab is built to fix. Every Tuesday and Thursday, I go live on YouTube for portfolio review days. You submit your images. I give honest, detailed feedback to help you build a portfolio that books work. Thursdays specifically, we level up. I give you a pro-level assignment to do where I break down real-world briefs. Then, later on in the afternoon, we jump on Zoom for a live mentorship call. We talk business, creativity, gear, strategy. When you join Portfolio Lab, you unlock access to my community. It's global, it's serious, and it's built to help you grow. So remember, weekly Zoom calls, twice live portfolio and assignment reviews per week, real feedback from me, a 35-year pro, and a community of photographers doing the same work that you're trying to do. All you need to do is go to thecartymethod.com/portfolio lab and join today. Let's build your career one image at a time.
I'm so excited about Portfolio Lab and where we are right now with Portfolio Lab. We do 1 Zoom call a week and 1 portfolio review a week, 1 image review a week. I found that doing 2 per week was a lot. It was taxing on me and my team, but also was taxing on you. And people who are part of Portfolio Lab were not submitting twice per week, for 4 weeks through the month. They were submitting once. So I aligned and shifted the way that we're doing Portfolio Lab. You get 4 Zoom calls every Tuesday on Zoom, and then you get 4 portfolio reviews on Thursdays per month. And the combination of those two and giving you enough time to not only learn during these workshops, but also produce the work, it just works better now. And again, all of my programs, they evolve and they get better based on feedback from the people who are in my program, based on feedback from my team. And we just keep tightening and tightening and tightening and tightening. And this ship that you know as the Carty method is tight, tight, tight like a tiger. I definitely want you involved if you're not yet. Go to thecartymethod.com and just allow emails or sign up for Portfolio Lab. Like, we need you in here. All right, have a look at, I showed you the picture of this lady from the side, but now I'm shooting her with this giraffe growing out of her head. And I came back around to make sure that I could get a front on picture. You can see this as a cover. You can see how this works, although she's a little claustrophobic to one end. I mean, it works, but it's pretty much as close as I would ever put someone to the edge of a photo. But again, me telling photos taking photos of a place and telling stories via photos of a place. And again, I'm not an architectural photographer, but look at the way that I compose. Look at the way that I shoot as if I'm shooting this for a magazine. And I can submit this stuff to magazines, but I do want you to look at the way that I tell the story of a place. And it's very important that you also can tell the story of a place, whether you're photographing street photography or you're doing commercial work. There has to be a way. Look at these pigeons. There has to be a way that you can tell not only, and there's another one up here, not only not only tell the story of the place, but shoot it in such a way that feels editorial, that feels like your photography, even if it's outside your wheelhouse, which for me, I'm making work here that's outside my wheelhouse, but it still really hits because, again, I'm a photographer. So I'm trying, as I've said, to tell the story of this place using photographs of the place, which I said at the beginning of this section, you'll feel like, number one, you took the photos. Yes or yes. Number two, you'll feel like you're there. You get a sense of what Cape Town is like, and you get a sense of what the place is like and what it's like for you to have your feet in that place. But it wasn't you. It was me who had my feet in this place, but I'm bringing you there. I'm bringing you there through shooting photographs that tell a story. And again, that tell a story of this place. That's the thing that I'm trying to do here, again, is give you photographs that tell the story of the place, how claustrophobic the streets are, how narrow they are, the cobblestones, the color, the mountains all around, the hills. So this is what I'm trying to relay, is how to shoot editorially, and how to tell stories, irregardless as to what you're shooting. Okay, so I think that's the last photo from telling a story using a place. Okay, put your hands up and give me a hey, yeah, if you guys are feeling the way that I'm delivering this content today. Again, I'm trying to be super tight, but you can see I'm giving you angles like, hey, tell story using a person.
Yes or yes.
This is how you do it. Tell a story using a person, okay? Number two, let me give you my heart rate because I haven't done that for ages. And I got a new Apple Watch, the Apple Watch Ultra. It's telling me to open, I gotta do one more thing apparently. Make the blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I need to do one more thing in order to get my heart rate going. So my heart rate's not gonna go, but it'll go next time. And Amond, my tech wizard and one of my right hands, we need to do some OBS work. So OBS is the program that I use to run this whole thing. OBS, Open Broadcasting System. And this is the program right here, OBS, and you can see how it's echoing. Okay, so you can see how it's echoing. This is OBS, okay? OBS, Open Broadcasting System. This is how I broadcast. These are all of the scenes that I use to share. Within each scene is all of this. This is my audio. This is the fact that I'm on YouTube. Here's my chat. Here's my vertical stream because I have a vertical and a horizontal stream. Blah, blah, blah. Long story longer is I've been working on this live stream, this setup for 4.5 years. And as setups go, I have a crazy setup. Like my setup is preposterous, but still, OBS every once in a while needs to be updated. And there's some things that are like not moving smooth with OBS that my tech genius, and he could be your tech genius too. If you need an Amond, just reach out to me, and I'll help you get with an Amond. Emmond is like my tech. He's my tech guru. And not only that, he does infrastructure and he runs a tech support business and he is just gangster squad. So Emmond, thank you wherever you are. And yeah, we're going to get into some OBS help soon. All right. So that is telling a story through a place. And I've told you how to tell a story through a person. Now we're getting into number 3. Are you ready? Number 3, telling a story. How? Telling a story through an idea. Telling a story. I have an idea. I'm going to tell a story through that idea. Okay? Use your camera to communicate a thought or a feeling that it's not just about what's in front of you. Okay? I want to think about, it's not just what you see, it's about what's in here. Like, I want you to think about a metaphor. I want you to think about a mood. Like, just something. Okay? Like, I got an idea. And I'm going to photograph something to express that idea that I have. Okay. Try this today. Photograph a subject half in light and half in shadow. Okay? So half light them, like Rembrandt lighting, like I'm doing right now. Half in light, half in shadow. And like, think about how that shows duality. Take these off. That shows duality, like half light and then half shadow. Use props or color to symbolize like deeper, something deeper within your photograph. Okay? Just do half light, half darkness on a face. Just think about like you're using an idea to show duality. Sorry, I'm very light sensitive these days since I've come out of the hospital. This is why this works. Conceptual storytelling makes people think and not just look. This is why this works. Conceptual storytelling makes people think and not just look at your photographs. Okay? So let me show you something that's a little bit more idea oriented. This is number 3, by the way. There's 2 more after this. Now, why not photograph Nigel of Legend Knits? Okay? The guy who made much of the clothing that you've seen me show today and last week. Why not show the guy? Like, let's show him and make him the idea. And look at his hits, like his own brand on his hat, his own brand on his shirt. This is a Legend Knits Noble Works collaboration. His tattoos, the way that he's holding his fingers. Oops. And of course, this hit down here at the very bottom, which is on the bottom of his shirt. You guys have seen me wear this brand. You guys know that I have his brand everywhere. Everywhere. I rock his and my own. Like, I support the people who support me. And this is what we do for each other. So, Nigel, this is me using him as an idea. So I'm now leveraging him and I'm shooting several photos for him and me, but also for the brand. Like, watch me execute this idea. Hands too low. They're going to go out of frame when I make an 8x10. Let's move his hands higher, lower him just a little bit. Photographing him as he's moving, like not Like when he adjusts and when he does stuff, I don't stop or I don't wait for this. Like I shoot through, like look at his arm and the way that his arm looks in this photo. He's not a huge dude, but his arm looks great here, and his locks and how great that looks. And then the outfit and all the hits. So just getting him in his own headspace and doing his own thing. Yes, his elbow's a little close to the frame. Yes, his hand is getting clipped a little bit on the bottom. But I'm shooting through the picture and I'm feeling it, and I'm using idea in order to get. Of course, we need a profile, because now in the profile, I can see his locks. I can see his neck tattoo. I can see Legend Knits here, and I can see the embroidery that he's doing on the back of his hat and on this accent here. So you actually see more of his hits when I see him from the side. You also see Soldier on his wrist, like hits. Like this guy is so detailed and so gangster. He's way more gangster than you. And again, this guy's 5'6". You know what I mean? 5'7". Like little dude, but big, if that makes any sense. So little head angle change. And then I loved that head angle. So now I go in closer for the close-up. And you can see what this looks like as a cover. Just killer. This is me using a person to tell us my idea. And he becomes the visual exploration. He becomes my idea. He's my idea. Do you understand what I'm doing here? It's kind of preposterous. I'm using him to allow me to execute my ideas. And now straight on, the hair flipped over the shoulder like it was here when I go straight on actually works. And his hair is on the opposite side of these logos, so it also works. And then the angle at which his head is and what it's like it's actually reflecting his arm in the glasses. I think it's his arm. No, it's something else. But it just looks dope through the glasses. Could be my arm, to be honest. Because I could have my hammer. Anyways, I don't know what the, but head angle change, and look at his hair like flipping out like it's fire, and cover. And look at how these images look as covers when I run them through. Like, look at what these images look like as covers. So this is me using my ideas with this guy and executing what I want to execute. He's just a subject, but at the same point, he's everything. And I can't do this without him. But I'm using him to tell a story about my idea. And my idea is him. So, and then this change, and now shifting from straight on to from the side, and moving and having him look at camera. So I can get a little bit of like Rembrandt light around his face this way. And again, what it looks like as a cover. And also more of more of his logos front facing. Right? And then the back of the shirt, which says Connected Reggae Party. He's holding his hair up so he's not covering the jacket. He's not covering the shirt. All very intentional. And then now he wants to wear his hoodie, which you saw on the female model. He wants to wear his hoodie and he wants to show his hoodie. And again, the dynamic here is not him posed, it's him in motion as he's like adjusting. And I catch that, I capture that. Now he's showing you the one sleeve that says legendary, because legend Nigel, he's legendary. He's a legendary Toronto designer. And now he's showing you the other side, which says uplifted, which is what he does. He takes a piece of clothing and he uplifts it. He takes it how it is and he uplifts it to the next level. Straight on, showing the hat, showing his keys, like just all of these elements that shows that this is not like a perfect photo, but it's a perfect photo. The hit on his tee, his keys, the hit on the hoodie, the connected reggae party, the hat, and just the eye contact. It just makes this so powerful. And again, what this looks like as a cover, right? So this is me using a person to execute an idea. So this is storytelling through an idea. That's number 3. And there's so many different ways that we can do this. And again, I hope you guys are gripped. Please consider hitting the join button because again, I prepare these episodes and I go hard as an MF when it comes to this. And I just want it to go in your head. I want it to stick and I want you to be able to then go and execute exactly what you learned here at the Carty method. Okay, you ready for number 4? Because there's only 5. This is the second last one. This is crazy. Okay, this is telling a story through a series. Telling a story through a series. Okay, instead of a single image, build a literally mini story with 3 to 5 images. Instead of it being one, build a mini story. I'm building massive stories with 20 pages. Like, because 20 pages is like when you're shooting for Vogue, you're thinking a 20-page story, not a 3 to 5 page story. You're thinking of a 20-page story. So that's where my mindset is telling multiple images. But you can start with mini stories with 3 to 5 pictures. Think of it like a movie scene. It's a movie. We're making movies with our camera. All you need to do is think like beginning. Oh, I need a beginning. What's my opening photograph for this series? I need a middle where the meat is happening, where the meat and potatoes is happening. I need meat. So what's the middle? And then I need an ending. How am I going to end off this series? Okay, so think of these series like a movie where you need a beginning, middle, and an end. And again, put your hand up. Leave comments if this is hitting home and helping you. I don't know anyone on YouTube who shares stuff like this and explains it in this kind of a way. Put your hand up if that's happening for you right now. Okay, so instead of one image, build a story with 3 to 5 or more pictures and think of a beginning, a middle, and an end. Okay, Taylor, give me some love right now. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Let's go. All right, so I want you to try this today, okay? Maybe you're capturing a skateboarder getting ready to go skate, to go do a trick. Maybe he's at the skate park. Maybe he's looking at an obstacle. Maybe he's looking at a rail that he's trying to do. I want you to think of photographing that skateboarder getting ready. Okay? And then pushing. It's for you, Joseph. Pushing towards that trick. Pushing. And then the kick, the land, the trick, and then like the end of what that feeling, the look on his face, him like, oh, or he crashes out and the look of like, ah, beginning, middle, and end. Think about that. What about this? A chef. You love food. You don't know skateboarders, but you love food. So maybe it's a chef or your husband or your wife preparing or mapping out on a piece of paper what the meal is going to do, what the meal's going to be. Maybe they're at the grocery store picking the elements for what that meal is. And then they're at home, they're prepping, they're laying out all the ingredients. Then they're cooking, then they're plating it, and then they're presenting it. And then it's the reaction of the person who's getting and receiving that food. Like, there's another way to tell a story using a series. Are you with me? So you can tell stories through series incredibly easy. And let me show you a story through a series. And again, not 1,000 images, but just watch. And again, I have this in video. I'm in Cape Town. It's my first time there. I'm in a not necessarily Cape Town. I'm in like this small little village outside of Cape Town. Like, we're in South Africa. We're sort of somewhere between Cape Town and Pringle Bay. So I want to take portraits of this man. So I stop and I'm like, can I shoot your portrait? And he's like, but it just happens. He doesn't get to say no. People don't get to say no to me when it comes to shooting these kinds of things. So I get this photo. And again, I filmed this. And I get this photo of him being humble, looking down. Like, the humbleness of a Rastafari, like, so humble that he can't even look at you. He can't even make eye contact because he's so humble. He looks at the ground. So, and then again, this series. Now it's the next person. So I took 2 images of him and close. And then it's the next person. And this Rasta man has his wares and he's showing his cross, which is an Ethiopian cross. And he's showing his next cross, which is an Ethiopian cross. And he's showing his Rastafari, and he's showing what he makes. And also his instrument. This is an instrument where he literally, this becomes like a ding, 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 ding. Like, so crazy. So crazy, this experience. And what it looks like as a cover. What this looks like as a cover. What this looks like as a cover. Because every vertical is a cover. Every horizontal is 2 pages in a magazine. And this is just locked in. This is how I shoot, and this is how you shoot as well. So, and then this man. Look at this man and this photograph. He's wrapped in like what they carry, grain and rice in. Like, it's not even clothing. He's wearing a burlap sack. A burlap sack is his clothing. That's how humble the Rastafari man is. The Rasta man is. He's wearing burlap as a hat to cover his locks. So look at this portrait. And where is he pointing? Up to God. So this is me telling a story through a series. And you can see like how I reveal the emotion and the context when I'm telling a story through a series. And this happens to be a series of Black people. It happens to be a series of people who live on the streets. It happens to be a series of people who are underprivileged, who also feel like they don't need anything. They have everything that they need. So this group of, and again, the burlap sacks. This is another dread wearing a burlap sack. And look how happy he is. So this is how you tell a story with this series. This is not the same person in every photograph. And then now I'm giving you the context of where everybody who was in this photograph, where they're actually sitting, because you don't have that context before. You don't have the context where they are. You don't have that context here. But then I pull back and I reveal where they actually are. They're in front of Netherlands Bank. Like they're just sitting and they're just posting up. Part of this same story is the other photographs that I shot after I photographed them. So, sorry, let me hide this. After I photographed them, I continued and I photographed this lady who sings and whistles and plays guitar, and I recorded her. I can't play that, and I won't play that right now because it's going to just run us too long. But this woman had my heart. She just had my heart. She doesn't have a phone. She has no internet. It's just pure talent. Singing Tracy Chapman and like just songs that like fill your heart. And I want you to look at how I shot her straight on. Then I went to the left and shot this angle. Then I went to the further left and showed you that she's at the bottom of stairs. So I'm giving you context as to where she is. And then I'm showing you a different perspective to show you, yes, in fact, she is halfway down between up and down between these stairs. And she also has a bucket that she's asking for money. And then me interacting with her and us talking for you to see this context. Because again, rarely do you see me working. Rarely do you see me working. You usually only see what I'm shooting. So to see this perspective, although it's a little out of focus, whatever, still giving you the context on how to tell a story through a series. And look at this quick series of this lady, starting with here, then here, then here, then here, then here. Like, I'm giving you the context and then also bridging you with finally showing you a photo of me, and then now a photo of me out of that. And the look on my face as far as like, now that that's happened, I made those like, holy shit. Like that's the look on my face after what I just captured, what I just experienced. Holy moly. And then a crooked, out of focus, like picture of Cheryl that you actually get the context as to where we are. And I shot those photos like over in here. Like in here. Where's my pen? Like in here. In that area. There's like a down thing there. So it's okay to show mistakes. It's okay to show mistakes. So that's how you tell a story through a series. And did that hold your attention? Did that grab you? And again, it's not a single image. It's multiple images to tell a story. Okay? Now, I've given you 4 out of 5. This is the last one. How's my time? We're coming up on an hour. Perfect. This is the last one. Okay? This is the big one. But this is telling a story through change. Through change. Through transformation. Stories are about transformation. How something or someone evolved from here to here. You can show an evolution. Try this today. Photograph a friend before and after a major event, or just before and after a haircut. Capture how someone looks before and after, and that energy shift. Like, you can photograph an energy shift. And for those in the know, you know I documented everything about my brain surgery, brain tumor, brain cancer. And I'm continuing to document everything. Okay, so this is why this works. Change is what people are after. Okay? Change is what moves people. change. That person who weighed 1,000 pounds, that now weighs 300, that now weighs 200, that now weighs 175. Like that is what inspires people. It's the core of every great story, visual or otherwise, is change. Like, we need to show change. It's so important when it comes to our storytelling. And this is the fifth one. And I'm going to show you some change. This is me in Pringle Bay in Cape Town. I have a bit of a cold, but I have a full-on brain tumor. I can't read. And I'm still making the type of photographs that I've just showed you. Like, all the stuff in Cape Town is pre-brain surgery, and I was struggling. But here's me in Pringle Bay showing that I'm still alive, showing that I can do anything. Here's me in Amsterdam waiting for my flight to go back to Toronto. Look on my face. I feel odd, and I know that there's something wrong with me. Okay? But I documented all of this. I documented everything because it's my life and it's really important. So I go to emergency because I can't read and I have a stroke during a Zoom call, which is still recorded. I have the recording of this, of me glitching and like I can't talk. I can't watch it. There's people crying in the Zoom because I'm literally stroking out. I go to the hospital, and this is September 29th, where I learn that I have brain cancer and a brain tumor. And I've just been admitted. This is the look on my face. So I'm very matter of fact. And then for you, this is where the brain tumor is. Just pointing. This is where it is. This is my IV. This is probably the next day, the 20th, the 21st. Actually, this is likely the 22nd, because that's the day I cut my hair, because I knew I was going to have surgery the next day. That's the day that I cut my hair. So, my girl comforting me on a day that was like extra painful, like really, really, really painful in the brain. My girl also having very hard days. Michael and Maria, a couple of my angels, on that same day, the 22nd, the day before I had surgery. This is just before Maria did work on me. And me that night, after everybody is left, just walking the hallways of the hospital, mentally preparing myself for the fact that I was going to have brain surgery the next day awake. It ended up being 3.5 hours that I did brain surgery awake. So this is where it gets a little graphic. So if you're queasy or you have a bit of a weak stomach, I'm going to ask you to look away right now. But this is moments, like 15 minutes. I'm still actually in the surgery area. This is after brain surgery, after they closed me. This is what my head looked like, just after. This is after they bandaged me. My head was so floppy and so swollen here. It was unbelievable. Now, they let me go home after 2 days. So I had surgery on the 23rd of September. I came home on the 25th. And I saw a lot of people just left my stream. So you can see this is showing, telling a story through change. And it's funny. This is the fifth. Denise, I love you, girl. This is the fifth way that you can tell stories with your photography, is using change. And I'm actually putting myself out there because I told my story of change using photography, and I shared it quite transparently, as Denise is saying. I did share it, Denise, quite transparently on my... Yeah, I did, didn't I? And thank you for your comments, Denise. It means everything. So, yes, I had to because it's part of my healing, and the swelling that is here first 2 days that I had the bandage on, and then, giving you a different angle as to what this bandage looked like, wearing the same sunglasses that I'm wearing right now. Kind of funny. But it was necessary for me to show what the staples looked like what it looked like when I first came home. And this is what it looked like. And my head was so swelly. Like, look at how lobbed I was. My head goes over here. Jeez Louise. Like, you see how the swelling. And literally 31 staples. 31 of them. It is what it is. I'm a rock star. I'm a soldier. I can take anything. Give me your fucking staples. Give them to me. You need to smile under adversity. Smile when you get bad news. Seriously. When someone tells you something bad, be like, good. Because it's going to make me stronger. This made me so strong. And again, this is me telling a story of transformation. And it's important. You can tell stories of transformation as well. Hard day. Look at my face. You can see that it's a hard day. And again, you can see my staples. And you can see that they're not even cleaned out yet. It's like, and again, this is what I went through. If this is too much for you to look at, I'm sorry. But they're just photos. They're just photos. And look, I'm fine. So if it's making you queasy, again, toughen up. Because, the world makes you queasy. The world is fucking queasy inducing. The whole world. If you just think about the world, it makes you queasy. But if you're a photographer and you're trying to leverage storytelling, you need to be a little bit more transparent and stop keeping things secret. Because if you want people to grab onto you the way that they've grabbed onto me through this whole experience, they've grabbed onto me, and my interactions are up 7,000%. The amount of people who are looking at my Instagram on a 30-day basis used to be 400, maybe 40,000, 50,000. I'm lingering around 900,000 interactions with my Instagram right now. I'm pushing 1 million people now looking at my Instagram over the course of a 30-day period because of my morning stories. If you're not watching my morning stories on Instagram, you're missing, because people from all over the world are watching them right now. So telling stories about change, and this proves to you, by the way, this is the Carty method Instagram, meaning your viewer, your images, when you submit to Portfolio Lab, you can also get love in the Carty Method magazine and on the Carty Method Instagram account. The reason that I'm having that level of attention is because of my transparency. Because, and again, this picture is out of order, but just so you know, this is what my kids looked like a day before I had surgery. Look at how the headspace that they're in a day before I had my surgery. They're in the best place. And look at the headspace that I'm in one day before I have brain surgery. one day. Best place ever. With the best kids ever, in the best hospital ever, knowing that I'm going to literally moonwalk out of that hospital with no issues. So, storytelling and using myself to share and show change and the transformation of this scar and the updates and the people. Oh my God, look at the swelling. Holy moly. Look at the lobbed head. The people who came and helped, the people who came with remedies, the people who came with vibes, and my vibes, the vibes that I put out there into the world. Queen, and the scar updates, and how I would update you every day as to what my scar looks like, and find a cool way to shoot cool pictures so I could share with you. And keep you motivated, showing that I was motivated and I was getting through this. So, and also working, doing random acts of kindness. This is me shooting on the second day that I'm out of the hospital. This is literally the September the 27th. I'm shooting. This is September the 27th, me inside a different book list. Showing how I'm feeling 2 days after having brain surgery, or 3-4 days after having brain surgery, 2 days after being out of the hospital. So the whole idea is to show transformation. Sister who came to live with me, to take care of me. Hey, this is me when I was like 29 years old, shooting with the Canon this is a film camera. It's the Canon EOS 650 film camera. Canon EOS 650 with I don't even know what lens, but somebody found this from an event that I went, from something I was shooting, and shot this picture and shared this picture with me while I was in the hospital. And then my morning walks that I've been doing for over a month, and what it looked like the day that my stitches came out. What it looked like the day my stitches, my staples, all 31 of them came out. And just coming out of the light, coming out of the darkness. My sister, who's a gangster, more stuff with my sister, shopping at the grocery store, and you can see us in the background. At the grocery store, me and Daniel, which I see at the coffee shop every morning. Go Jays. Before I cut my hair, you can there's still a little bit of swelling, but again, I'm telling the story of what I'm going through, and truly telling the story. The scar now really starting to look good, better. Really showing everything about what I'm going through at the Eaton Center. Some really, really close family friends. This is the Burke family, Leah and Jason. I've known Jason Burke for 25 years. This is Jason's dad and his mom. This is his sister, and this is his sister's husband, and this is my sister. We went out for brunch, which we do basically every other Sunday. Me walking, again, pre-hair, calligraphy, Vogue inspiration. You have to send that to me. I need a direct link. So what I'm also going to say is this is all me now sharing what I'm essentially going through, me sharing, using myself as the vehicle for change. And believe me, it's hard to be this transparent. I proposed to Cheryl a few weeks ago. So this was proposal day. This is the 13th of October. She doesn't know that I'm about to propose to her. That's what she looks at me like. And then this is the ring, and I have just proposed to her. And then her friends who flew in to witness, and then my sister. And then, this is me deciding I'm going to cut my hair. and the haircut, and I go through, and then again, my coaches, this is Tim, Michael, and Gabe on the end. This gentleman I just met. This is Bill. I just met here. But Tim and Michael did my brand book, and Gabe is the guy that I do so much of my founder's work. This was a retreat for the weekend for Michael's 60th birthday. And yeah, it was amazing. Okay, cut the hair. Cut the hair, bing, bang, boom. Now back to what I look like right now and the updates as to what I look like right now. Then, of course, scans and going through radiation and sharing all of that. This is the last day of radiation. I had 5 days of radiation to go through. Washing that radiation away. My son and my daughter hanging out with me. This is my son. And just documenting all of this process. Smile even when you're in pain. This is a day that I was really having a hard day. Smile while you're in pain. And yeah, it really shows that you can use yourself. You can use change. You can photograph someone who's going through something in order to, thanks calligraphy, in order to really share like what your big difference is, what your big thing is that you're doing that's really changing everything. I have to go in through the back end calligraphy, but that's all right. So that is the 5 ways. Now, my favorite way to tell a story, if you followed me for a while, you've probably seen that I'm very much into sharing my transformation stories. I love showing like somebody who is also going through that transformation. I really just love showing love and light and vibes. Whichever one of these 5, and I'll just review these 5 different ways that you can tell visual stories. Number 1, you can tell a visual story through a person. You can use a person and document them and who they are. Use them to tell a visual story. Number 2, you can tell a visual story about a place, which I showed you how I showed Cave Town and told the visual story about a place. Number 3, you can tell a visual story about an idea. And I used Nigel and his clothing line to show you how I used a person to tell a visual story about one of my own personal ideas or one of his ideas. Number 4, you can tell a story through a series, meaning a series of photographs. You're using a series of photographs to tell a story, which is a brilliant, really brilliant way to tell a story. And then number 5, and my favorite one, is you can tell a story through change, where essentially you're using change in order to show difference, to show I started here, started from the bottom, now I'm here. What a great line. I should make a song called Started from the Bottom, Now I'm Here. What an idea. So basically, telling stories through change is beautiful. The thing that's amazing about what's going on with the Carty method and what's going on inside the Carty method community is the support. For Portfolio Lab and Pro Lab members, you can see this is Pro Lab. And then you can see this is Portfolio Lab. We have a folder called Vogue Inspiration. And my ace, his name is Calligraphy. He works so hard on the Vogue inspiration and the storytelling aspect of it every single week. And it doesn't change. It doesn't matter what assignment we're doing. Every week, he gives you Vogue level inspiration to show you how to tell visual stories, how to tell editorial stories. And again, you can see he's using, or Vogue is using this subject, using a person to tell the editorial story of all the clothing and the editorial story of the magazine. So the inspiration that we show, the full length, the close, the 3/4, the crop, all of these things that you hear me talk about are all very much industry standard. And when you look at Vogue and use Vogue as the bar, it's really easy for you to not miss. Look at Rihanna. Look at this full length cover, the inside, look at the color tones, double page spread. Like, it's done in like the way that we curate this, the way that calligraphy curates this. It's so tight and so brilliant for inspiration, which is, again, just one of the many reasons why you should be in Portfolio Lab. You can't access that Vogue folder unless you're in Portfolio Lab. So if you want to start today, I want you to pick one of these 5 and go out and make photographs with purpose. Tell a story. It's not just about what you see, but it's about what you feel. I hope this hit, and I hope this brought you value. You know, Carty loves you.
This commercial-free live stream was brought to you by the members of this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network. If you're an emerging or struggling photographer that's trying to break free from your current 9-to-5 grind and transition to the life of a working pro photographer, that's our obsession here at the Carty Method. Register, get the support you need. If you're alone and struggling at this craft, make sure you join the Carty Method community. You'll always find help in the show notes. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Find your creative and business genius with the Carty Method.
I hope that brought you value. I really got a lot out of prepping that show and putting this together for you. I hope it grabbed you. And again, there's 5 ways that you can go out and tell stories with your photographs. I hope you pick one of these and go execute today. Again, go to thecartymethod.com and see all the different ways that I can help you. And thank you so much for making it to the end of this.